let's bring you some international news now and take you to the U.S. Super Tuesday apparently may underline Trump's transformation of the Republican Party in the U.S. Let's speak to Carol Van Dam Falk, who is a reporter with Voice of America. She joins us from Arlington in Virginia. Carol, it's great to see you. Early for you in the morning, around 7:30, 2:30 here in South Africa. But I think for the sake of our South African viewers, Carol, tell us why Super Tuesday is so important on the road to the general elections in November.
Right. Well, they call it Super Tuesday because it's the biggest number of states where they're holding primaries and caucuses all on one day. We're talking about 15 states and at least one territory, the territory of American Samoa. So all these hundreds of thousands of voters are able to cast their vote for president in the primary. And it's just been coined the phrase Super Tuesday ever since then.
And how is, the sort of polling going into Super Tuesday? What's it telling us, perhaps, about Trump and his performance and also his reshaping of the Republican Party?
So former President Donald Trump is still way far in the lead with about 80%. After today, it's anyone's guess, but he could be close to about 90% of what he needs to clinch the number of delegates to be, named the GOP nominee. Nikki Haley, the former South Carolina governor, still in the race. She said she would stay in through Super Tuesday, and she's still giving him a run for his money. She did not win her own home state of South Carolina on February 24th, but she got 40% of the vote to Trump's 60%, and that's a sizable amount and more than what a lot of analysts had expected.
Tell us where he is struggling, though, the former president.
Well, he's struggling because he's facing over 90 counts of criminal charges.
Yeah.
He doesn't know exactly when those trials will be, taken seat, when the jurors will be taking their seats. It's all up in the air. He just got a big win, more or less, the other day yesterday from the Supreme Court, which said that Colorado could not push him off the ballot there. And the Supreme Court also seems to be waiting until almost the end of the summer to decide on another criminal case that Trump is facing. So he's got a lot on his plate. He's going to have to, be in court for some of these sessions, and, that's going to cut into his campaigning. But he also has been very adept at using it to his advantage and using it as kind of a photo opportunity in this country.
I mean, can Trump emerge as the preferred candidate given what's going on in the court?
Absolutely. And in our country, you can even be convicted of crimes and still run for president. So he's got about 80% of the delegates he needs. Like I said, he doesn't need that many more. He could actually clinch it by around March 12th when a handful of more states are going to be holding their primaries.
Yeah, in the past, Carol, Super Tuesday it held quite a lot of suspense, right? Because it would give you a clear indication of which candidates would win their party's presidential election. Do you reckon it's fair to say that this time around there's little to no suspense?
Yeah, I mean, before, like you say, it was a real horse race. There'd be some candidates that were almost neck and neck, and no one really knew who the winner was going to be at this point in time on the calendar. But this year, it's basically a rematch between, the current president, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump. Now, Nikki Haley, she is still kind of a thorn in his side, like we said, but it remains to be seen. It's pretty much a safe bet to say that at this point, it looks like Donald J. Trump is going to be the Republican nominee.
Wow. And shall we talk about President Joe Biden? No one comes to mind as who might be a thorn in his side.
He doesn't really have any trouble as far as like serious candidates that are trying to beat Joe Biden at this point. There is one candidate on some of the state ballots, but as far as what he faces as far as trouble in terms of Democrats staying with him is there's a lot of people who are Arab Americans who are saying they will vote uncommitted because they're very unhappy with his stance on the Israel-Gaza war.
Yeah. So Carol, just in plain terms, in the build-up to the election, depending on what happens in court with former President Donald Trump, what if he wins the election?
If he wins the election, what happens next is presumably he will tell his Justice Department not to go forward with all these criminal trials that are expected to take place and drop all the charges. He can do that if he is elected president.